Morning.
In this episode, I'm going to take you through some of the dumbest 911 calls that I could find on the internet. I'm the type of guy that when something happens, I'm like, should I call 911? But I've never called 911.
I have.
You have?
Yep. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. Evidently, there are I don't think you have.
I have.
Evidently, there are people who err on the other side, and they call 911 at the drop of any sort of a hat.
Yeah.
Sometimes literally if a hat drops.
Yo, I gotta call 911.
Now that's not on my list, but I've got some here, and Rhett, I'm gonna run these by you along with you at the same time, and you can analyze the merits of these calls, okay?
I'm relatively quick to call 911.
Here's one. A 39-year-old Pennsylvania man phoned the Upper Macungie Township Police late one Thursday night
Macungie, yeah.
to report that someone stole his Jell-O from the break room refrigerator at work. This is for real. Now, I know that this is an issue.
It's theft.
The caller, quote, continued that this was not the first time his food had been stolen from the refrigerator.
Right, he didn't call the first time. He wouldn't have called the first time. He would try to work it out. Obviously, this guy tried to work things out. If his car got stolen out of the parking lot, would he call 911?
Yeah.
What's the difference between the Jell-O and the fridge, man?
Because it's Jell-O. I don't think you want to burden the police with this.
It's a slight overreaction, but there was theft involved. That's all I gotta say.
And
Justified.
If you
Am I
really,
judging these?
If you really, sure.
Justified.
If you really love Jell-O, then maybe. The incident remains under investigation.
Yeah, it's tough to catch a Jell-O thief.
Here's another one. Doyle Hardwick, age 57, became increasingly irritated when he wanted to check his Facebook profile in peace. However, his wife, Julie, refused to leave him alone, so he called 911.
This is tough to defend.
Now, before you defend this one, let's just take a look. Let's take a look at these people. Here's their mugshots.
Give me the facts. Give me the facts.
Well, here's their mugshots.
Okay. Well, you look respectable.
The facts are Doyle first tried giving his wife a beer, hoping it would make her drowsy enough to fall asleep.
That's what I always do.
Instead, his
Never
wife
have a
continued
beer.
to sit next to him so that she could watch him browse the internet and visit his Facebook profile. Doyle Hardwick was arrested and pleaded no contest to a charge of misusing 911. He was sentenced to 60 days in jail where he did not have access to his Facebook page or his wife, Julie.
Related question. Did she ever try to watch him look at his Facebook again? Justified! Sometimes you gotta pay the piper.
Julie was not arrested over the incident, but has been previously arrested for theft of utilities.
Oh, well, yeah, you tap into the grid. I've done that.
I mean, it is annoying when you're trying to do something on your phone, like, you know, somebody's looking over your shoulder.
On stolen utilities, no less.
Justified? Yes, you said justified.
Justified.
Okay, so I think you're saying all these are justified.
No, so far these two are. 2 for 2.
Here's another one. A teenage girl, who shall remain nameless, was home alone. She called 911 to report her home was being terrorized by, quote, a massive freaking creature. She went on to say, I'm home alone and there is a giant spider on the back of my couch, and I'm talking giant. I've never seen a spider this big, and I have no idea what to do. The dispatcher agreed to have an officer visit the girl's home. The officer reported finding the spider, measuring about 2 inches in diameter.
That's a big one.
And disposing of it with a rolled up newspaper.
Yeah.
He also beat the girl with the rolled up newspaper because she deserved it. What are you doing calling 911?
He didn't do that.
He didn't do that, for the record. He was a nice policeman. He just disposed of the spider, and that was the end of the story. She wasn't even arrested.
What if the spider was 2 feet across? Let's just go extreme. 2 feet across. Prehistoric spider. Justified, right?
Yeah.
Who are you to judge what's too big of a spider for this girl?
If you can kill it with a rolled up newspaper.
She's afraid. She could have been bitten. Justified. I can't kind of justified. I don't feel too strongly about that one. But I'm just trying to look out for the girl. The cop came and did it. He justified that it was justified.
Well, I'll say that I'm saying this one's justified too because I feel bad about making the joke about the officer beating her with the magazine.
Yeah, you should.
Or the rolled up newspaper.
You should.
I feel bad for that. It is now justified. That reminds me of another one I saw. A mother of 2 in Los Angeles calls 911 because, quote, there is a squirrel in my kitchen.
That was my wife. You making fun of my wife?
Yeah, I am.
As you may know, my wife called 911 over a squirrel. That's why I'm defending the woman over the spider.
All right, I got two more that are really great. This woman called 911 because she was stuck in her car. And there's a YouTube video of the entire 1 minute 911 call.
Okay.
So let's listen to it.
All right.
What's the emergency?
Hi, I'm at the corner of Pleasant Hill and John Young Parkway. I'm in a Walgreens parking lot, and my car will not start. I'm locked inside my car. I cannot open my car. I can't get the windows down. Nothing electrical works. And it's getting very hot in here, and I'm not feeling well. I need some help.
Just, are you able to pull the lock up on the door and open the door? You should be able to just pull the lock up even if it's electrical.
I've tried it. Oh, okay. All right, I got that going. Okay.
So are you able to get out of the car now?
Yes, I got the door open.
Okay.
All righty. I'll see if I can get AAA or something.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Well, she didn't know how to unlock the door.
Talk about an awkward ending to it.
Justified.
No. An awkward ending to a 911 call. Wow.
Okay, yep, I was able to open the door. Sorry.
At least you apologized at the end.
Sorry, I know I'm going to be on YouTube.
All right, and then I got one more here. Woman calls 911 because McDonald's didn't have chicken McNuggets. Latresa Goodman, age 27, called 911 because they were out of chicken nuggets. I also have this audio.
All right.
911, do you need police fire rescue?
Police.
How can I help you?
I'm calling. I'm the officer from McDonald's on US 1 by the bridge.
Okay, what's going on there?
I just ordered some food. The manager just took my money and won't give me my money back. They're trying to make me get something off of me that I don't want. I ordered chicken nuggets. They don't have chicken nuggets. And so I told her to refund, give me my money back. And she telling me I have to pick something else off of me. And she's not going to give me my money back. And she don't have the right to take my money. Here come an officer right here.
So she said, I ordered chicken McNuggets. They said they didn't have it, and now she won't give me my money back. I need an officer here right now.
When you got your heart set on chicken nuggets, you can't settle for like a Big Mac.
Oh, she called 3 times.
You don't have my chicken nuggets. I want a McDouble and a small finance. And she told me I will have to pick something else off of me that equal up to what I paid because she can't do that. And so I told her, just give me all my money back. I don't want anything. She told me she's not going to give me my money back. She can't give me my money back either. And so she's trying to force me to eat something off of me that I don't want.
What's your name? Latricia?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, we got an officer coming out there to talk to you.
Yeah, we got an officer coming out there to talk to you, and they arrested her. But this one,
For misusing the system?
yeah, and I feel like this is just. I mean, they wouldn't give her nuggets, and then she said, "I'll take a McDouble." They said, "No, we got to give you exactly the amount of money. We got to give you something for the amount of money you've already given us."
And what's up with running out of nuggets anyway?
Yeah, you can't do that.
You got to have nuggets on standby.
You can't arrest Latricia for that.
No.
But they
Justified.
Justified.
Seriously, if you misuse the 911 system, you can be thrown in jail. You can be arrested. So listen, you better make sure that it's justified before you call 911, or you'll end up in the hopper. A man in Florida. He's kind of weighs 18. His name is Mark Welch.
A boyish man.
He made a couple of interesting calls to 911 recently. You may have heard about this in the news if you keep up with such things. He apparently had something happen to him when he woke up. A certain sequence of events happened to him that he thought, it is necessary now that I call the police. I dial 911 because this is an emergency. So we're gonna...
The sequence of events that we've already said at the top of the
It's
show.
not a sequence of events.
Sequence.
I think that was a Michael Jackson album that never got made. Sequence of events.
That's a good idea.
Sequence of events. Yeah.
The lost songs of Michael Jackson.
He woke up and his dream, the things that he had
His dreams.
dreamt, were actually occurring and coming true. And he said, well, I got to call 911. Which, I think is justified. I think I probably would have. So anyway, we're going to play his 911 calls. Yes, plural, calls. And talk about them a little bit. So our first 911 call from Mr. Mark Welch to the dispatcher.
911, where's the emergency?
Hello, can I have somebody come in Orange City? Yeah.
What's going on?
Something that happened in my dream and it's actually happening.
Okay, what's happening?
That's it. Everything that happened today is actually in my dream, and I want to prove to everybody.
Okay, what's your name? Okay, so what did you dream about that's happening?
It's all on paper. I wrote it down.
Okay, we'll get someone out there to you.
Huh?
I'll get somebody out there to you.
Thanks so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, so he said what was happening in his dream was happening in reality. So he wanted to prove.
He said, I got to get somebody out here to prove it, to prove that it's happening. He thought the cops were going to come and help prove it.
And then the other thing I like is that when she says, okay, I'll send someone out there, he immediately was like, huh? It's like, for real?
Well, I find it interesting that she engaged with him. I like this 911 operator.
You never know.
Because she says, well, what did you dream about? He says, well, I wrote it all down. It's all on paper. I wrote it on paper, he says.
Because that helps
specifies.
prove it. If you just tell the 911 operator, that doesn't prove it. You have to write it down. The cops have to show up. They have to read it on paper. You probably have to sign it at the bottom. I think that there's a whole procedure.
He's keeping a dream journal. I'm proud of this guy so far. I mean, I don't think he's done anything out of the ordinary.
Well, he seems to see it as a legal document, not just a journal.
I need to get a cop out here to legally attest to the fact that my dream is coming true. But it didn't just stop there, because apparently the cops showed up. It says the cops showed up and were basically like, what's going on here? And he ends up telling them that he has been smoking the reefer.
Whistling with his fingers?
He's been smoking K2, which is a synthetic marijuana.
It's also a very difficult mountain to climb.
And it is.
It's more difficult than Everest, even though it's not quite as tall
Maybe
as
smoking
Everest.
it makes you feel like you have no oxygen, and you start thinking things like your dream is coming true, like if you were on top of K2. Anyway, he calls. They come over, and then he tells them that he's been smoking the K2. They don't do anything. They don't arrest him for that or anything. I guess maybe it's okay in Florida. And then his parents hide his phone from him. He sneaks out, goes to a neighbor's house, calls 911 again. Here's that call.
911, where's your emergency? 911, where's your emergency?
Hello, I called earlier in Orange City.
What's the address?
Orange City.
And what's the emergency?
The officer told me not to call back, and he said if I call back, then y'all are gonna take me to court. So I'm calling back.
Because you want
I have to prove something.
Because you want to go to jail?
I have to prove something to my family. So
Okay, you're at
send an officer back.
City?
Yep. Yes,
What's your
ma'am.
name? What's your last name? Do you have any weapons on you?
No, I don't, ma'am.
And you do not have an emergency, and you're stating that on the tape line?
I don't know.
Do you have an emergency, yes or no?
No.
Okay, and you're saying that the officer told you not to call back, so you did because you're trying to prove a point, correct?
Yes, please.
Okay. What is the problem there? Because obviously there is one.
There's no problem. It's something that happened in a dream, and it's coming true. Everything. So can you just please send somebody here?
Okay. Are you? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Is there an adult there?
No, I'm at my house, yeah.
No, is someone else besides you?
Me, my mom, my dad, my brother.
Can you put one of them on the phone?
He hung up.
I don't think he got what he wanted. He wanted the cop to come back. He seems to be waffling a lot. I mean, he states his objective. I'm calling back because the cop told me not to call back. If I did call back, they would take me to court. So I'm calling back. That's what he said.
I think he wants to go to court and testify about the reality of the life and the dream world.
With his mom and his dad and his brother there and say, see, it's all happening.
The thing that I'm trying to figure out, the thing that is so interesting about this, is I want to know in his mind, in Mark Welch's mind, what did he think was going to transpire that was going to prove to his family that the dream was coming true? I've got a theory.
Okay.
What if in his dream he woke up and all these things were coming true, and then he dialed 911 to prove it to his family.
I'm eating breakfast. I dreamed that.
And in his dream, he called 911.
The sun came up.
And the cops came. So he thought, if I do this last event, my mom gave me cornflakes. Dream, check. Threw up a little bit in my mouth. Check, whatever. I don't know what would happen to you. I had to take a pee. Check. Then I went back and played some Xbox. Check. Then I started smoking K2. Check. Then I called the cops to prove to my family that I had done all these things in my dream. Okay, gotta do that.
So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So, I was going simple. I was just thinking this is a prank call, or as some people call it, a crank call.
I don't think so, Dan. I don't think so.
You don't think it's either one of those? No. You think this guy is just cracked, he's just crazy, or just under the influence of an unclimbable mountain?
But, he ended up he went to jail. He ended up going to jail.
Well, that's the thing I like about the second 911 operator is that she's so snarky because you just can't do that. You just can't call 911 for no reason. I think you've learned that in your own personal life, right?
My wife potentially misused the 911 system when she called about a squirrel that was in the house.
Right, which was another show. You can go back and watch that.
But he actually was arrested. Got a first degree misdemeanor for misuse of the 911 system. That is a charge.
It's a sacred thing. This is about talking about public safety here. Cops don't have time to show up and take notes about whether your dream is real. Hello, are you the one who called 911, sir?
Yeah, I'm glad you showed up because I had a dream and everything that I dreamed is coming true for real.
Yeah, I'm a cop. I sit around waiting for opportunities to come to people's houses like yours.
Hey, listen, that's my mom and my dad.
Did you dream about me saying this?
Yeah, I did. Everything that's happened, everything that was happening was in my dream. And there's my mom and my brother, and there's my mom and my dad. And could you just prove to them that everything that is happening is in the dream?
Well, did you write it down?
Yeah, it's all on paper right
here. Did you sign it?
Yeah, I could.
Sign it here, and then you have to initial here, and then on the back, initial here, and here. And
I told you guys I told you this was gonna happen.
All right, just come with me, sir. Put your hands behind your back.
Hold on, tell them about...
These handcuffs won't work. They won't hurt.
Tell them it's true. Tell them it's true.
It's true. We'll take it from here, parents. No more problems with this chap.
The interesting thing, Link, as we close this episode, I have to tell you that this exact opposite happened to me recently. I experienced something and then I went and had a dream. I did not call 911.
The cops showed up and then you went to sleep and dreamed?
This past weekend, I went up to Santa Barbara. You could go there. It's great. It's great for the family.
Okay.
My mom's in town. We went up there, had a great day. Yeah, on the coast. And they have...
Isn't that the name of a soap opera?
Santa Barbara? I don't think so. I think it's St. Elsewhere. Anyway, they have a big Catholic mission up there. These original Catholic missions that were built all up and down the West Coast, and they're historic, monuments and stuff. Anyway, we go up there and we're going to take the tour through it. Side note, the tour operators were mythical beasts.
Really? Like what? Like cockatrices?
No, they were humans that watch our videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I asked them if they had any perks they could give me, and they said no. Anyway, I just tried. So anyway, I go up there and then I come
pictures
back.
With relics or something?
So this is all where these monks used to live and everything. It was a monastery, right? And so then I go back home and I watch the PGA playoffs. I'm watching golf on television when I get home.
Okay.
So that night I have a dream that I was in a golf commune where other golfers were living like monastic lives of golf, and the president of the golf commune was Pope John Paul II. I'm not kidding.
What's his handicap?
You didn't tell me. Probably 2.
But it's now if that came true on the other side, like if you traveled somewhere and there was one of those,
I would call the cops immediately.
Yeah,
to prove it to my family.